All right, greetings. Hello, everybody. Rooted Grounds, Rooted Space, Whitaker at Large, friends, guests, artists, and well-wishers. Very happy to have you all here. This is Art4Truth. We are Art4Truth. We're going to jam for you a little bit. I do a fairly eclectic, kind of semi-improvisational looper jam extravaganza with some effects and a lot of guitar soloing and a few words of either wisdom or madness, probably somewhere in between. So anyways, thank you all so very much for your ear and your time. Thank you for Cole for running the sound, Jay and whoever else for helping to set this up, for Rooted Grounds for having us, and again, for all of you for your ear and your time. Here we go. What a beautiful day it is. Happy solstice weekend to you all. Not solstice, equinox weekend, excuse me. Happy lining up of some type of space-time planet stuff going on. Tides and moons and planets and clouds and suns and all that kinds of awesome stuff. So thank you, Galaxy, in particular solar system, for our wonderful little, beautiful little miraculous, if you will, chance to live in such a star system. I mean, think about it. Perhaps there are, in fact, there definitely are planets with habitable conditions, or moons, or other type of celestial bodies. But for us, to have these circumstances, to have this type of biodiversity, to be able to exist in this reign and connect to consciousness in the method that we do, to have this planet next to the sun the way it is, it's pretty awesome. It's one of those, you know, 1 in a billion type of circumstances, perhaps, that really all life and really all art happens to be. Those absolute moments where you know that, man, what a chance circumstance this is to be here, and my God, am I grateful to be alive. And to have marketplaces like this, to have this community, I really kind of dig it. I'm beginning to be much more appreciative of all the different art and craft and musical offerings in this town, and in particular in the Whitaker. Every time I've come to this place, I've seen some type of artist or craft person with things set up, whether on a table or a booth, or just working here and sitting at a table doing art, doing a drawing, making jewelry or something like that. And I think it's a very important experience. It's a very important, if not the most important part of our existence as human beings and our particular connection to consciousness. And they make very good coffee here as well. In fact, coffee is a connection to consciousness. The fact that we have things like coffee to stimulate particular neurotransmitters and particular aspects of our being that set off another connection to consciousness and to thought and to the imagination. Coffee is but one of the miraculous chemical combinations that we have that open up all kinds of different portals and ways of viewing our consciousness and our connection to life. Art, in and of itself, is perhaps one of the most deep and profound. Art itself can take you to another world, can make your heart race, can make you feel woozy or euphoric. Art is the drug that we use drugs to try to get to. So to all our friends out there, remember that our connection somehow to art, to music, to the rhythm of life, the beauty of things, the fact that in every single perception there is a composition of euphoria, there is a composition of nirvana, and that we through art can experience nirvana moment by moment through our connections and experiences with art. And in our community, we need to continue this. Art is not just the artifact. When I say art, I don't just mean the painting or you know, or even music or any kind of craft making. I mean an essence. I mean a connection to creation, a way of being. It can be connected to everything we do, our politics, our economic systems, our agriculture, our food production systems, our education systems. Everything can be artful. Everything can be connected to that part of our connection to consciousness. We can elevate and move ourselves beyond what we are now through an artful life and a connection to the art of the universe. And it will affect everything about us, everything we do. It will help us to grow beyond our conflict, to grow beyond the constant, paradoxical dichotomies that we've developed that keep us from experiencing each other fully and from being truly connected as human beings. Art. Art is a language beyond race, beyond sexuality, beyond perhaps even species. Art is something that goes deeper and deeper and deeper than all of these divisive things that we have let get in the way of our existence together. Art will cure us, art will save us. When I say art for truth, I mean it. It is a way that we will develop our evolution as conscious beings into another way of life. And I believe fully, absolutely 100% fully, that the art that we do here is connected to beings and species in other dimensions and or other galaxies. 100% positive of that. All the music we make, the art we do, even if we do it in the privacy of our room and no one sees or hears it, it is there, it matters, it's real, and someone does hear it, and it might be the lifeblood of a species that we're not even aware of in galaxies far, far away. Our travels interdimensionally, as they say. Thank you very much for that. Our first number. We're going to move on. Glad to see you all here.
Star.
Yeah, we'll have to rehearse another song for you to sing.
What was the song? What was it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I had that video. I finished it the whole night.
Oh, that's awesome. What's your name?
Scotty.
Scotty.
to come out. The blossoms bloom, the green wakes up. And I take my bike and I ride along our river over here, not too far from where we stand. My gosh, what a beautiful land that we live in. A park system expanding miles and miles and miles. A bike path, literally a road for bicycles and small pack vehicles as such and pedestrians. Along a river, so beautiful. Really, when you look at it, the habitat for so much life and a relief from some of our strife when we take some time to meld with the river mellow. River mellow. Ducks of many variety. And on a nice sunny day, basking turtles as far as the eye can see. You'll find a rock or a log. Along the path, take a look. Over the river, maybe a little brook. Delta oaks, ponds, many different birds. A lot of peaceful, relaxing, mellow river words. Take some time to sit and sniff the roses, if you will. Lots of places along the river, like Owen's Rose Gardens, where you can chill. I don't mean to be an advertisement for Eugene, but I gotta tell you, I kinda like this scene. Foot and walk and just hang out, but I lived in town for quite a few years before I got a bicycle and really saw what this town was about. Take a bike, hit the bike paths and trails and just go to Springfield and back, and just, it's so beautiful. So many places to stop as an artist. I've done so many incredible experiences. Hopefully the art's decent, but these little paintings, landscapes of the gardens, of different spots along the river and the bike path. And it's such an inspiring environment that we live in, and I highly and heartily encourage all of you to, especially as the spring's upon us, like literally it's turning right now, to take advantage of that. Even do a little walk in your neighborhood. The daffodils are out, some of the other flowers, it's some of the trees, the ornamental fruits, and not so ornamental fruits are all getting a groove on with their flowers. So beautiful times. I encourage you to take some time. Grab a friend or other fellow and explore our river mellow. Oh, thank you. Cheers.
You don't even have to finish that sentence either.
River
How
Mellow.
do you know that? Okay. I think I got all
Not
that.
like
River Mellow.
I'm not really a drummer so much. He's a big one. I guess he's quiet.
All right, thank you all very much, everybody, for that. A little song and jam. I guess we'll do another one then, shall we?
No. Most of the band.
The bassist is like Boston, and then Boston.
All right, let's just do that.
Being out here. Oh, they are. That's a big deal. Like Red Rocks. You're saying he's a first-time manager, or he's their manager for the first season? Of like that interaction.
I think that they manage themselves for many years.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is their first manager, or like real one that's actually really putting it forward. So this is their biggest tour. Their tour is like, I don't know, starting in Eugene, and they're not even done until like
That was the start of it.
July-ish. Yeah, they're all first tours. Yeah.
Respect. Somebody knows what it's like to go all winter.
Yeah.
Well, winter's different than going all summer, because you're going against nature. You don't
Yeah.
have like all the like vitality of like all of life doing that with you behind you. It's like everything's dead. You're like,
All right, this song is called. It is a song, actually. Well, there's two. I kind of do a mix of improvisational stuff and songs and somewhere in between.
yeah,
And this is one of those, but this is a song called Underwater Walker
hot springs.
off of my Water album, which you can find on Bandcamp and other places online and whatnot. So anyways, here we go, Underwater Walker.
That came to me after my mom had died, and it was just like,
Go with him.
yeah, it was sort of a shock actually, like a major one, because just wasn't, I never really saw anything like that.
I mean, I remember a conversation we had where you like
I
basically gave
waited
me
till
the
the
lure
moon
of your
was
this
new,
relationship.
the sky
You showed
as
me
dark
this, like,
as it could be. And then with lead in eye shoe, I walked out towards the sea.
So I can understand how that's a surprise. It's based on what you said. Just being like,
I was like,
we are like, we were like up each other's ass. Like, and I was like, okay, yeah. So I would see that way.
The waves lap lightly on my feet as I trudge heavy on the sand, moving slowly to the deep while never leaving solid land.
I've said this over again, talking about my friends, like, not fucking songs, like, I understand that attraction about desires and things like that, like, I respect it very much, but conversation has already happened. So when I found out, I'm like, that's a problem, because one never told me to. This was like 6 months ago, and like, and
So I've lived with the impact of it unconsciously because that's how union works. It's like you
And
guys
there's so many-
The foam now circles round my waist. The ocean beckons me to plunge. I anticipate that salty taste as water overwhelms my
because the energy's
tongue.
bound to yours. It's not fair if they don't get to choose. If you have an experience like they don't get to choose unless they're aware of what you're gonna do. You know, and they're just subject to all the ups and downs you ride.
My eyes adjust to their new home as I keep slowly, steadily walking. And I know I'm not alone, for I can hear the orphans talking.
You know, and I wouldn't say it was like the most intimate exchange by any means, but it was just more so like, that's
Every now and then I'll see a tail, or maybe yet a dorsal fin. I'm not afraid of killer whales, for they attack the things that swim.
it's felt so we're just in this funny place. So I called him today and I was like, listen, like Johnny and I made out. He was like, well, sex or show. I was like, no. That's
The
way
deeper in my body goes, the more I hear the other creatures. The fish all seems to know that I don't share aquatic features.
That shit is not for sale. So, and I was just like, I don't know if this is the best time for this conversation. He sounded he's like, I'm really lonely. And I'm
I
like,
start to understand their speech. They ask me where I plan to go and why I ever left that beach when I will find my death
They don't mean like
below.
completely, they just mean like the way you spend your time with
well, he's been working a lot, and then there was about 6 weeks where it's just like he came and I said hello, and then I kind of did my own thing like we were doing.
I face a shark now rather stern, and in their language I begin that life and death's not my concern. I seek the mysteries within.
I'm going to the airport, like, I'm going to try, like, you're both out of here, like, no way. I just have, I'm really shut down in that sense, so
I'm now the ocean bottom stalker, and I was always meant for this, for I'm the underwater walker, strolling on to the abyss.
That's the phase of my life I'm in.
yeah.
So none of this made that feel easier to like
No, it's
imagine changing, right?
I am the underwater walker.
Actually, do you remember the time when we hung out at the bonfire?
Strolling on to the abyss, I am the underwater walker. Strolling on to the abyss, I am the underwater walker.
Like what you've experienced or just the way you take things in is like your style. You know?
Just like I've been around the block in many, many different realms, and then grief, just like a lot of grief and loss.
Sorry, I'm gonna
No, it's okay. Still is great. I need some. Still is good.
I can't help it at this point. Yeah, dude, this whole move's been so fucking crazy. Like, just like, I feel like I'm in a Mercury retrograde here. Like, I had a 15-hour day at work Friday yesterday. The fact that I called it Friday, like it was days ago, should tell you exactly what I'm
I just got here and I was
I'm not saying that. No, I was just like, I feel you. Like, I was like a sigh, like, I feel you.
I don't know why. Just like the trip out here is so and then, full time on Ryan. It's intense. And my dad is like the most helpful in a way. Like my dad's kind of stoner and it's just like
Strolling on to the abyss.
it's like, can you take her out on a walk with me? So I felt like there's
All right, thank you all very, very much. That was Underwater Walker. Another song, once again, off of the Water album. Please check it out. All right, and we'll move on.
Cut shapes. You shuffle, bro?
I shall. I like to join in coffee. I don't want to crash. It's like,
Coffee make you crash? Or are you saying you don't want to crash and so you shouldn't?
no, sometimes coffee just like
Coffee makes me drunk too. I drink coffee out of like, not function, but just pure preference because it's like in and out. I don't need to see the effect.
depends. And your drink is adrenaline can take me very far.
Yeah. That's what I plan to run off of. Like after this is over, like
That's
staying
nice.
out there.
Yeah.
That's what I'll. Yeah.
Well, I did get
watching over us across the galaxy. It's one of those things. I think many of us, myself included, are rather fledgling children wandering rather wild and aimless in the realm of the other side, in the realm of some type of delving into consciousness.
Because a dubious sold out last night.
We certainly in our society don't have the correct systems in place that truly could help us,
I've got cash on me too. I
I
can
don't know, safely and with guidance navigate through the inner galaxies of interdimensional reality. But here we are, swimming around, holding our own, trying to discover our place in this cosmos on a level other than just our biological selves.
better answer your fork and phone.
And therefore there's something to be said about entities, spirits, and elves.
No, well, I'll buy it and I'll just do a phone call so sure.
Yeah, sure. I'll count on
My phone battery just sucked when I turned it to stash.
There is no doubt some type of conscious connection, and there are other types of connections that influence our imagination and our spirits, and our souls, our minds, and our hearts. Well, they hear it.
I had a really good time with that.
Awesome. Maybe some of them will come down for
What if in the quantum realm, between the atoms, in between the electrons spinning around, that is where the stuff of consciousness really resides, and the heart of the matter begins. What if in the quantum realm we have life? We have the very essence of life. And if the infinitesimal is the infinite, if the macrocosm is the microcosm, then through every aspect of our existence, we have life, we have existence, we have consciousness. And within that consciousness, there are perceptions or beings and other forms of existence that can perceive and connect to that consciousness. And we, as humans, have a connection to that. We actually have a tens of thousands of year old heritage on every single continent, with a connection to these realms of interdimensional travel and spirit creatures and other such things. This is not an unprecedented phenomenon. Now we're beginning to realize these truths again. And believe you me, it is not appreciated by those in power who want to control our artistic efforts and our spirits. But there is consciousness. There are conscious guardians looking over us. And one of these, I believe, is about the oldest type of entity that you could perceive. The blue aquatic dragon by the name of the Leviathan. The dragon form, the serpent form, is also the mythical form, not just a snake in the grass, but the mythical dragon-type creature, is another multicultural experience that we have had in every single part of our humanity and every continent of the planet. And the serpent is not always the evil thing hanging out in the tree, no. The serpent and the dragon can bring life and goodness and protection and love. My connection to these types of creatures and entities, I felt experiencing this particular one I had named the Leviathan in utter timelessness. I've never felt a whole like this, a whole of pure timelessness, but not timelessness as much as agedness. A lot of time, the opposite of timelessness, all the time. Time fullness, that's what I experienced here. Time fullness, just the oldest possible feeling, like everything is so ancient. We are young, we are children. I come up here and I profess ideas and I offer my art and music, but I am a child in the sandbox, still trying to discover things myself, hopefully not hurt anybody in the process. I've at least learned that lesson in school, in my time at the sandbox and the playground. Try not to throw sand at other people and hurt them and mess up their time. Don't push people off the slide. You'll get your turn. I've had other experiences where my art directly led to a connection with some other type of a cosmic being, like the art itself. So keep that in mind. What we do in our art, in our music, very well, and I believe absolutely does connect to other forms of life and consciousness. It's not just for us. It's not. The Akashic record and maybe other such things. The proof of our reality, the recording of every possibility, like the art we make matters in that. There's moments of real power in our connection to creation. The people who strive for all the money and the control and all the wealth and all the women or whatever, all that stuff, that is such an illusion and not the real power. The real power is a benevolent force. It's a force of love, and it comes from art and a connection to creation. And I do believe that there are guiding forces that we can connect to along the way that help us with our journey and help us live another day. Look high, and you might see or feel like fire then fly by in the endless oceans of the sky. Open that third eye. All right, thank you all very much. Once again, another jam. How are we doing on time? So I know.
Got about 15 minutes.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, but sounds great.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right on. All right. We still have some time. We're going to keep on rocking out. Once again, I really appreciate you all being here, listening to this music, patronizing this coffee shop, interacting with each other, sharing your art. It's awesome. Thank you very, very, very much. If you're so inclined, I did put it out. So my grandfather's World War II hat is right at the end of this table over here. And I forgot to put, any money in it. But yeah, if anybody wanted to leave a tip or something, it's certainly appreciated. We do it for the arts, but those things help. Anyways, I thought my late grandfather's World War II hat would fit in the scene. So anyways, there it is.
Which one is it? Will? I put it in here.
Oh, this other one right there on the corner. That hat. Oh, well, thank you, sir. Perfect. Thank you. Well, that's much appreciated. Thank you very much. he can hear me at some point in this song, this would probably be a good one for some horns. In a minute or two. There you go, wherever you want.
He's gone.
Oh, cool. Nice, thank you. I have another huge favor to ask. I think that there is my coffee. Would you mind? Throats are getting dry over here.
What?
If you don't mind bringing me that coffee, then yeah, my throat's getting dry. All right. Yeah, we're getting into a groove here. Getting dusky, getting dark. Awesome. Thank you very much. If I can't sip a beer, I'm definitely going to sip some coffee. Haven't done this in a while. I'm bringing it back into the repertoire. This jam is called the Art Martyr. There have been several people along the way in our history that have truly given themselves to art. Oftentimes art or artfulness. Oftentimes at the cost of their lives. Let me introduce you to perhaps the first art martyr that we knew from a long time ago. It's true. In mid to late dynasty Egypt, there was a pharaoh, a particular individual, who many of us know his famous son a little more than him. This person is the father of King Tut, King Tutankhamun, as it were, whose very rich treasure troves in his tombs when the grave robbers found it gave him international fame. But I'm going to talk about his father, who in his life garnered quite a bit of shame. For it is true, he changed art and what people knew in all the things they do. So, I'm talking about the pharaoh Akhenaten. Let me flip that to the floor for Akhenaten, better known as Akhenaten. Not only did he change the polytheistic Egypt of religion, I should say, of Egypt, into a monotheistic religion based on Aton, the sun god, which was quite a thing to do as a leader. Oh, people, we've been worshiping these many gods for thousands of years? Nah, not anymore. We're going to just worship one. The others are there, but let's just worship the sun god. He moved the capital of Egypt to Tel Armana accordingly with his beliefs. But the most important thing that he did was that Akhenaten changed the way that the Egyptian people and the Egyptian powers that be made and presented art. For thousands of years, the pharaohs of Egypt were given broad chests and perfect features, stylized, idealized gods. Yeah, this will be a good one for you when I'm not talking and jumping, or even when I have any time. It's cool. And what Akhenaten did was he changed this idealized perception of how people, and the gods in particular, pharaohs, who were considered to be gods, should be portrayed. And he had himself in his own art made to look very feminine and large features and almost funny Muppet looking. He was very expressionistic and naturalistic. It was an incredible leap from what the people were used to. It's basically a D minor. And when you change the way people perceive their reality, especially through art, they don't always like it none too much. Some years into Akhenaten's reign, he got the Caesar treatment and was killed by his own people. And most of his art and temples and artifacts were destroyed and buried. It was only until excavations later that we reacquainted ourselves with him. The artistic style more or less went back to how it was, but the effect never went away. And even as the Greeks and others started to sculpt and whatnot, there was a lesson there. Akhenaten, the art martyr. Another man that came many years later, and I'm going to give him the title of art martyr, not because he was an artist per se, but he had an artful and imaginative way of thinking and being. He would not submit what he knew to be true and logic and science, even in the face of execution by the persecution of the, at the time, Roman Catholic Church and the Inquisition. I'm talking about a man by the name of Giordano Bruno. Died in the year 1600 via, I can't even think of the name of it, being burned alive, yes. Horrible way to go. Bruno, the art martyr. He believed that there were infinite suns, and that the stars were actually suns. Copernicus and Galileo were already kind of coming up with this stuff. But he also believed that the suns were infinite, and on these suns could be infinite planets, and on these planets infinite life. He professed aliens to the Roman Catholic Church at the time of the Inquisition. Not a smart thing to do. He also professed the use of magic, astrology, numerology, but really a sense of love and the idea of the imagination and science and logic. So they did what they do best. They imprisoned him for 10 years before they finally burned him at the stake. It's important to remember the people that who stand by truth and stand by logic and stand by art and love in the face of persecution. It is going to happen. It happens today. It happens in our own country. It happens all over the world. It will continue to happen as long as we are divided. we can come together with art. It can be a way that we can harmonize and find ways to make our differences work instead of have them destroy us. We need to really have respect for those who give their lives to the cause of art. And before I go, I'll talk about one more. Someone I actually knew who died in 2012, a man by the name of Tom Blodgett, who lived and worked in this town. Even though people put him down, and although he was a crinkly old coot, as he would say himself, his art was beautiful and innovative to boots. And he worked alone, and he trudged away, even though this town wouldn't give him the time of day. But he made art, and he helped those of us who were seeking it to seek it better in his own way. An art martyr, I would say. Let's hear some horns, my friend. All right. So I think we're about wrapping up on time here. I want to make sure the other bands get in there. So I want to thank you all very much for letting me jam here. This has been a whole lot of fun. I hope you had some fun too. This is Art4Truth. We are Art4Truth. Remember to keep art in your heart. Keep making it. Be creative. If you've ever wanted to pick up the guitar or the drums or the ukulele and you haven't, do it now. Life is short. Put yourself out there and connect to the creative spirit of the universe. So once again, thank you, Rooted Space, and all of you for your ear and your time. And we're going to be back up playing again. And thank you. That sounded really cool. Right on. So cheers. Thank you all very much. And now, we will say goodnight. All right.
Cool. You're good to unplug. You're muted.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Right on.
I love to have you back in here.
I'd love to be
I
back.
like the whole, the overall sound is kind of like listening to electronic music while like philosophers are being sampled.
Oh, yeah.
You know that like
Right
whole
on.
style of like how they'll play like Alan Watts and Terrence McKenna over
Yeah.
like EDM.
I totally know what
That's
you're talking
exactly what it feels like to listen to this.
about. Well, I'll take, yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I'll definitely
just
take that.
philosophical meanderings over top of music. Man. It's good stuff.
Cool. Well, right on. Well, I appreciate it. Definitely excited to. Whoops, I guess.
Oh, that's not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, coffee behind me. So you know.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Oh, spilling coffee. Oh, caffeine abuse. That's awful. These are weird.
Oh, you live in this area? You rented the block for it.
Would you like me to stop here?
Yes, please. Yeah. Oh, I didn't hear you. Thank you.
Yeah.